Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Milner coming to you for the DeKalb County Library System, and we have another tutorial for you. I have a little lesson that I just learned. We are in the midst of Hispanic Heritage Month, and what I did not realize is that Haiti is included on the list of countries that celebrate this month or that are celebrated this month. I had no idea. And when I discovered that, I was just really surprised. I knew they were more in the Caribbean, and I started looking it up. And certainly, there were all kinds of articles and things that that collaborated that information. I am thrilled about being able to use some Haitian paper beads, or some paper beads that I got that were made in Haiti. I've had them for a while. I didn't have any way to incorporate them into my cultural jewelry making program. And discovering this was absolutely wonderful. So what we're going to do today, you've seen us, and we have made different pieces of jewelry with African made paper beads. Today, we are using the ones that I got from Haiti. I am thrilled. So we're going to make a chain. It's going to be a very pretty simple chain with three kinds of links. And one of them is going to be the paper beads. Another one is going to be an infinity link. And the other one is going to be a chaos link. And I saw Katie Parker do these chaos, and I've done the chaos links before, and I've done the infinity links before. I've just not put them all together. So I saw a video that she did that she put those two components together, and I'm going to add wrapped, orbital wrapped paper beads. I'm always looking for a different way to use the paper beads, and we're going to do an orbital wrap with our paper beads. We've done something like that with the what I call the luscious links, and I'm going to use that one particular wrap for our paper beads just to make them into something even more special than they are. So what you'll need for this is some paper beads, or if you choose, you can use any kind of beads to pull this type of wrap off. You'll need 20 gauge wire and what else? That's it. You need beads and you need wire. Everything's going to link together to itself. You don't need any jump rings. That's it. You need that and your tools. Round nose pliers, called round because these little arms out here are completely round all the way around. The barrel is completely round all the way around. The chain nose, some people call it, it depends on the brand. They can be needle nose. Needle nose is a little pointier than this one, but the chain nose, needle nose, flat pliers, anything that's shaped sort of like this with the outside of it somewhat rounded, and then the inside of it is completely flat. Last but not least, we will need cutters, which do exactly what they say. They cut your wire, and we'll need a ruler. And because we're using open infinity links, I would suggest using a little something to kind of hammer your wire links. You can either use your pliers to just kind of give them a little more strength, or you can use a little rubber mallet, or you can just use the bottom of your spool and just something to give them a little bit more strength so that they'll hold your piece together better. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to get down here to the other camera, and we are going to make this. Oh, good grief. Sorry. Yes, I am sorry. Okay, let's get down here to the other camera and let's get going. So we're going to be making these cute little chaos wraps. We're going to make infinity links, and we're going to do our orbital paper beads. So let's start with the beads, shall we? So what we need for that is not going to be an exact measurement. What you need to do is determine how much you need for the orbital part, and that's going to depend on the length of your beads. And as you can see, with paper beads, they're all different sizes. So I'm going to start with this longer one. So I'm looking at it, it's about 3/4 of an inch long, and the orbit is going to go around the outside. It's not going to be touching the bead. So I would give myself at least a good inch on each side. That's 2 inches. I'm really exaggerating up. And then I'm gonna give myself an inch on each side for my loop. That's 4 inches. I'm giving myself 5 inches, or that's 4 inches. Then I need another to go through the bead. That's 5 inches. I'm going to give myself 6 inches to be safe. So 6 inches of wire. I think I have that right here. I was going to use that for the chaos, but I may as well use it for this. Yes. Okay. So what I need to do, I'm going to start with this one right here. So I need to give myself enough to make a loop on the top. So just give yourself about an inch of wire at the top, bend it back, grab your round nose pliers, slide, I'm going to bring this down a little bit, slide your wire down your pliers I'm going about 1/3 of the way down my pliers because that's the size loop that I want. I'm going to bring, oops, that, you know what? Stop. So I set this so I would not go over my time, and then I ended up doing other things and not getting started when I intended to start. So that's why that's going off. It's going to go off again because I accidentally hit the snooze button instead of giving myself more time. So I'm going to have to do that again when it comes back on. Okay, anyway, so I've got my wire bit back. I'm going to slide my wire. I'm right under the short side. I'm going to slide it down my pliers about 1/3 of the way down my pliers. I'm going to bring this tail over the top of my pliers and down the side like so. Then without moving my wire, I'm going to open my pliers, reposition them on top of my wire like that. And then I'm going to bring that tail under my pliers like so until I have a loop just like that. So now I just need to wrap that wire just under my loop. It just needs to be 1.5 times. Because when you do your orbit, you're going to wrap up here again. So you don't need too many wraps up here. Just enough to secure it. And then clip that little tail off. And it's really small. It's long enough so that I can hold it so that the wire won't fly across the room. So that's lovely. Cut that off, and let's push that little tail down. This little tip here that's sticking up and waiting for something to get in its way so it can scratch. I don't want that. So I'm just going to push it down nice and close to the stem of my wire. There we go. Then I'm going to grab my bead and slide it on. I'm glad I got one like this. One of the most fun things about paper beads is they have to use glue or something to get them get this nice shiny coating on them. And sometimes that treatment that they do gets down inside the beads. And then you have to work at getting your wire through. Never fear, it will go through. You just have to have patience and really work it out. All right. So now I've got my bead on. I'm going to make another loop. Move this out of my way. So I'm going to bend my wire back again. And my loop's going to go this way. I want both my loops going the same direction. Wrap my round nose pliers, slide my wire down a third of the way down my pliers again. Bring that tail of wire over the top and down the side. Rotate my pliers back. Bring that tail around and out to the side until I have a loop, just like on the other side. And then wrap that tail around 1.5 times. Actually, in this case, it only needs to be 1 time. And stop on the side. You can go around to the other side if you want to, but it's not really necessary. Okay, so now I'm going to create my orbit. So I'm going to bring my wire down the side and notice how I'm not touching the side of the bead. I'm just orbiting it. And once I get down to the loop, I want to decide how much space I want out here. If I don't want this much, I can pull it a little more snugly until I get the look that I want. There we go. That looks good. Yes. And now I'm going to wrap that wire around just under my loop 1 time. There we go. And now I'm going to go down the other side and orbit the other side, just to complete the circle. Here it comes again. There we go. All right. Let's bring that in to where I want it. What do you think? That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? A little bit more, I think. That one's going to go in a little bit more. The other side's not as far out. There we go. Get in there. Oh, that works. That works. That works. And now I'm going to wrap that tail. Now notice I'm holding on to this because if I don't, it can get pulled over to the side and I don't want that. I don't want it to pull in. I want it to stay where I've got it. So I'm going to hold on to the wire and wrap that tail around just under the loop. This is why I said you only have to wrap 1.5 times. I'm going to bring it around to the back since I have enough wire to do it. And then I'm going to clip off the tail. Clip that off. And squeeze that a little closer and push that tail down. Good. And there it is. Now I can make some adjustments if I need to. Push one side in a little bit, pull the other side out a little bit if I need to. And this is very organic, freestyle, so it's not going to be a perfect orbit, but close enough. Isn't that pretty? I want my 2 loops to be going the same direction, so let's just fix that. One's going part of the way around and the other one's going flat and one is going to the side. And there we have it. There is my orbited paper bead. Neat. Let's do another one. This is one of the little more squatty ones. Let's do this one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I gave myself 6 inches on this one. I'm going to give myself the same 6 inches on this one, even though this one is smaller, it's a little fatter. So it's still going to take a little bit of, I'm trying to get that, there we go. So it may take about the same amount of wire just because it's wider and not as long, even though it's not as long. So let's go ahead and give myself another 6 inches just to be safe here. Sorry, my ruler's off camera. 6 inches. So I'm going to go down about an inch so I can do my wire wrap. Bend back, grab my round pliers, slide my pliers under the short side, the short tail of my wire, about 1/3 of the way down my pliers with my wire, bend the tail over the top of my pliers, and wrap it around until I have a loop. And then we are going to wrap that little tail around the stem. There we go. And then push the little end down until it's nice and close to the stem, not sticking up where it can snag on anything, just like we always do. Oops. All right, let me hold on to it with you. Get it adjusted in there. Get down there. There. Let's push it down a little bit more. There we go. All right, so now it's time to introduce my bead to the wire. Let's see if this one has a nice clear path. Yes, it does. Very good. Okay, once again, I'm going to bend my wire back. Grab my round nose pliers, slide my wire down my pliers about 1/3 of the way. Bring my tail over the top and down the side of my bead. Rotate my pliers back without taking the wire out. Grasp my wire again and bring that tail over until I have a nice little loop. Yes. I'm going to turn this a little bit more this way. There. And now I'm going to wrap that tail around 1.5 times until I'm back over on the side. I'm going to bring that tail down the side of my bead until I have a nice little orbit halfway around. Now I'm going to hold on to my wire and wrap that tail around the other loop. Bring the wire back over to the side. One full wrap around. And then bring the wire down the other side. Okay. And let's try to imitate the loop as much as I can, like the other one. With the other side. Okay, that looks good. And a little bit more over here. And I can play with it a little later. Let's go ahead and get her anchored. And let's wrap. Again, I'm going to hold on to my wire because I don't want it to shift while I'm wrapping the tail around. Okay, bring that around my loop. Flip off the tail. Now I only went around one time. If you think it'll be a little more secure, you can take it around another half time to the back. Flip off that tail. And push that little tip down under the other wires. That's out of the way. And now let's look at my orbit. This one's a little more round, so I think I'm gonna push that out a little more. There we go. Nice. There it is. You see that? Yes. Isn't that cute? Yes, I love it when I can find more things to do with paper beads. Okay, so now we've got those, and I've got several more over here already done. Hey, isn't that neat? I love it. So let's move on. Next thing that we're going to do is our chaos link. Yes, I like those. Those are fun. So what you need for that, and it depends on how big you want it. I'm making mine about 1/2 inch from the bottom of one loop to the bottom of the other loop. So for that, and to get the type of wrap that I want, which is not huge, but I want it to look similar to the shape of the paper bead. So I'm giving myself more wraps in the center and less on the end so that it kind of has that little ovally type shape that you get from the paper beads. So I'm going to give myself 6 inches of wire again. Oh, I just threw my ruler on the floor. So 6 inches of wire. I'm remeasuring because I think I shifted. Yes, good. And what I need to do is bend my wire back about 2 inches from the top. I'm going to bend my wire back like so. And then I'm going to grab my round nose pliers and slide them under the short tail. Again, about 1/3 of the way down my pliers. And I'm going to bring that tail over the top of my pliers and down the side, just like that. Then without shifting my wire, I'm going to open my pliers up and rotate them back until now I have a T. So my pliers are here and my wire is there, like kind of a T shape. Then I'm going to bring that wire under the pliers and over to the side until I have a loop. Just like that. There we go. And now I'm going to wrap around that long stem. And get as many wraps as I can get around the long stem. And I want them to be close together and fairly neat. even though they're going to be hidden. This is the base on which my chaos wrap is going to go on top, on which my chaos wrap is going to go. There we go. That's more correct. So just wrap that around several times. Squeeze those little wires together so that they're nice and close. Yes. And I think I can get one more little wrap around there. Okay. And let's just push that little end down until it's resting against the stem and under the other wires, under the other wraps, so it won't catch on anything. There we go. All right. And now I'm going to check and see. I want them to be about the same size, so I'm going to check here. And I'm going to bend my wire right there, about the same spot that the other one is. So about a ½ inch. I do like to check and make sure I'm on the right track measurement wise. And again, it depends on how big you want your link to be. There's no exact measurement for this. Okay, so I've got my loop. I'm going to go ahead and wrap down the stem until the wire meets in the middle, or meets wherever the other wire is. It may not be in the center, it probably won't be. Okay, there we go. Very good. And now here comes the chaos. Just do a wrap around, a nice loose wrap. It doesn't need to be tight at all. That's why it's chaotic. And again, I like most of the wrap to be in the center. I like to build up the center so that it looks sort of like my paper beads as far as shape is concerned. And then when I can't go any further, I just turn the little tip down and push it down between the other wraps. Down there. Go. And there's my little chaos bead. And then if you want to make any adjustments, say this one's sticking out too much or something, you can always squeeze it down to look the way you want it. Okay, let's do another one. All right, 6 inches. 6 inches. Okay, 2 inches from the tip. Round nose pliers, wire 1/3 of the way down my pliers. Pliers under the short tail, bring it over the top and wrap it down the side. And let's bring that tail under my pliers until I have a loop. And now let's just wrap down the stem. right, nothing like radio silence. You're probably listening to the traffic outside of my window. Isn't that fun? All right, I think I have one more little wrap in me here. And let's push that little tail down. Nice and close. There we go. All right, now let's measure against the other beads and see where I want to bend. There we go, right there. And that back. Create my little center. Slide my wire down. Throw it all the way down my pliers. Bring it over the top, down the side. Rotate back, clamp back down. When I say clamp, I just mean clasp. I don't want you to squeeze it so tight that you end up with dents in your loop. Okay, let's wrap that around until it meets the other wires. Stick it in there. Good. And let's start the chaos, shall we? And there's no set way to do this. You just wrap it back and forth, up and down until you achieve the look that you want. And if you want a thicker one, add more inches. I just did 6 inches. You can do 8 inches. You can do 10 if you want a really big fat chaos wrap. And then if you have too much wire, you can always cut it off. Tuck that little tail down in between the wraps. And there we have it. Cute, 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 cute. I like the chaos wrap because I think it goes with not only the shape of my beads, but it goes with the orbit theme that I'm going for as well. Okay, so we have a few of those now. Let's move on to our infinity links. Now for the infinity links, again, it depends on the size that you want. I'm using the back of my pliers, so mine are a good size. So I would suggest that you leave your wire on the spool, or if you have a long, expansive wire, which you're going to have with the kits that we give out, if you get a kit, just leave it all together. It takes anywhere from 1.5 to 2 inches of wire, depending on how big you make your little loops. No exact science. So what you could do is maybe cut off 3 inches of wire and then make your loops and then measure what's left, and that'll tell you how much you need for the size that you want. But for my purposes, I'm just going to leave it on the spool for this video. So I'm going to slide my wire all the way to the very back of my pliers. I'm going to make sure there's nothing sticking out the back because I want a nice round loop. And I'm just going to rotate my pliers, open, rotate back, clasp back down, and rotate again. And I'm going to keep doing that until I have a loop, until the tip is resting against the rest of the wire. Then I'm going to take the pliers out. I'm going to put the pliers under the loop, slide to the back of my pliers again, and I'm going to make a loop going in the other direction. Same thing, all the way around. And there are my 2 loops. Now I can see that one is slightly large. This one's slightly larger than that one. That's easily correctable. Go back in and pull my wire to get rid of excess. And there's my infinity symbol. All I need to do now is take my pliers and go over here to the back where I've got this nice long wire here. Take my pliers, slide them right along the side of my wire and clip off that tail. There we go. There's my infinity link. Nice. Look at it. See if this one still looks a little bigger than I want. So I'm going to go to the inside of it, clip off a tiny bit, and make it smaller. There we go. And then why I said you should have something, you could use the top of your, this is something that you could do that with just to give it a little strength. You can use a mallet like I got from the dollar store. There's a number of different things that you can use. And that just strengthens my links. All right. So I have several of those. I might need to make more, but let's go ahead and see what we have. So let's start putting things together. So what I'm going to have is a bead and a link on each side and a chaos and another bead, no, link. So beads, links, chaos, links, because something has to link everything together. Bead, link, chaos, and more links. So I have to make more links. So let me go ahead and make a couple more links and off camera, and I will come back and we will put everything together for our necklace. I have more beads too. So, because I'm going to make it about, I'd like it to be at least 18 to 20 inches because I want it to be a chain. And then that way you can wear it all by itself, or you can wear it with a pendant if you want to hang a pendant on it. But let me go ahead and make some more of these cute little infinity links. And I think I might need another chaos link, but let me go ahead and do that off camera and I shall return. Okay, I've got all of my components and I am ready to put everything together. So what we're going to do is, the way I'm doing it is we're going to have a link. Where's my camera? We're going to have a link, a chaos, a bead, a link. Let me see. Link, chaos. Oops, I'm missing a link here. Have to have a link. Link, chaos, link, bead, link, chaos, link, bead, link, chaos, link, bead, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to put everything together. This is the one I've already got done. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the ones that aren't assembled yet. So what I need to do is open up one of my links, attach it to a chaos bead, and close it. Now, the best way to open these links is to not pull them apart. You don't want to pull them apart. What you want to do is go in on the side of your loop, lift it up like so. There we go. And then attach it to your bead, in this case, my chaos bead, my chaos link. Just slide the closed chaos loop inside of the open loop and close it. And go to the other side, open it up, slide on the bead, close it. Okay, and then go to the next one and open. Slide on the bead loop and close. So this is my first full section. Let's put another chaos on. And close. So I have a chaos. I have my links on either side of a chaos bead and links on either side of a regular bead. And then I continue link, chaos, link, bead, link, chaos, link, bead. That's the way I'm going. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my chaos bead, my link to the regular bead on those that I already have assembled, and then continue to put the rest of it together. Link. Oh, and you know what? And you don't have to do it in this order if you want. If you don't want to, you can put two chaos beads. You could do a link, chaos, link bead. I mean, it's entirely up to you how you want to order your chain. But this is the way I'm doing it. Link, chaos, link, bead, link, chaos, link, bead. That's the way I'm doing it. So let's see, link, chaos, link, bead, link, chaos, link, bead. Yeah, that's the way I'm doing it because that's the way I want to. That's my creative vision. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like when it's all put together. And then once I get it all together, we're going to make our own clasp. And I think I did this orbital clasp in another tutorial, and I really loved the way it looks. I like making clasps that just look like part of the design. They don't really look like a clasp. They look like they belong as part of the design of the piece, and they don't interrupt the flow of the piece. I really like that. I think that's neat and fun. I mean, it just, I think it elevates the piece a little bit. So let's see what we've got here. The chaos on. And I'm going for 18 inches, 18, 20, our standard chain length. Let's see what I've got. I have 12, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18 inches. And there is my chain. However, I am not finished because we need to make a clasp. That is pretty. That is very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this bead to make a clasp. This little old bead right here. So what we're going to do is, where's my wire? I'm going to get, again, I'm going to need 6 inches of wire to make my clasp because I'm going to make it to look like the other orbital beads. I'm going to make an orbital clasp. So 6 inches. Okay. And what I need is about, for the hook of my clasp, I need an inch on each side. So I need 2 inches plus an additional fraction of an inch, an additional half an inch to wrap. So let's go 1, 2.5 inches. Yeah. So I need to give myself 1.25 inches. Yes, let's go with 1.5, just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to give myself 1.5 inches of wire. I'm going to bend my wire. I'm just going to fold it over and squeeze the wires as close together as I can get without letting them overlap. I can only squeeze it so much with my fingers, so the rest I'm going to use my pliers. Okay, you squeeze that nice and close. So there are my 2 edges of wire, the 2 strands, nice and close together. So then I'm going to measure I'm going to measure 1 inch from the fold, and I'm going to bend my wire up and make my hook, or make my wrap that's going to support my hook. So there's my wrap, my wire with the bend, and now I'm going to wrap that short tail around the stem of the folded wire, just around the bottom. Okay, let's clip that off. Little short tail. Let's clip that. Well, I think it could be a little shorter, because I want that to lay down right in between those 2 wires. So I'm going to cut that down a little further. Grab my flat pliers, or your chain nose pliers, and push that little tail down against the other wire. There we go. All right, so that's going to be my hook. So now let's go ahead and put my bead on before I make my hook. And let's make a loop. Again, my 2 wires that are together, they should be flat. Make sure that is going the direction I want it to go. Okay, so I'm going to bend my wire off to the side. These are my 2 flat pieces of wire, my 2 pieces of wire with the folded edge. I'm going to grab my round nose pliers. I'm going to slide the wire down about 1/3 of the way down my pliers, like I've done with all of the others. And I'm going to wrap the wire around my pliers, rotate my pliers back, clamp back down, and There we go. And I'm going to attach this to this one. Where do I want to do that? I think I want to attach it to the chaos so it follows the pattern of the other. Or, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to attach it to this. I'm going to double my infinity link so that it's nice and secure. And I'm going to attach that to this so I can go ahead and complete my loop. So now I can go ahead and wrap my loop. I just need to go one time around, or 1.5. And then I'm going to create my orbit. I'm going to go down the side of my bead like so. Hold on to my wire on the side and wrap that wire around the stem of where my hook is going to be. I'm going to go to the other side and orbit that around the other side. Oops, let's straighten this out because it's a little not straight. Come back. Okay. Move that around. Create my orbit. It's really not straight. Let me get my straightener. Straighten this out. This is not cooperating. All right. Try again. Hey. Trying to get it as close to looking like the other side as I can. I think I'm going to need my pliers. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is round this out some more. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to hold on to my wire so it doesn't pull when I'm wrapping. Wrap that around. Oh, you know what? Go to the other side because I wrapped it around the other way the other time. Wrap it around the same side. There we go. Wrap that around, holding my wire while I wrap so that it doesn't collapse. Get out there, get out there. Here we go. Okay, wrap that around. Just enough. Good. I even have enough to wrap it around with. other side if I want, which I do. You can really stop here and clip and just tuck it from there, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and use up the rest of it around the back side. And then push down that little end so that it's not sticking up, waiting to catch on something. Okay, everything's nice, neat, and tidy. Got my orbit. And now it's time to create my hook. This is the top. So I'm going to bend my wire back a little bit just to create a little neck. I'm probably going to have to create more of a neck, but let's go ahead and slide my wire down to the back of my pliers. I want a little bit sticking out because I want a little bit of a bill. So about 1/8 of an inch is all I need sticking out. Then I'm going to rotate my pliers until I have a hook. So there's my hook. Then I'm going to take my pliers. First, I'm going to bend it back a little bit and make that little neck I was talking about. So I've got a little bend in the back there. Then I'm going to take my pliers and slide them right under the folded part, the folded edge of my wire. And I'm going to give it just a little tweak up, just like that. And there is my hook. So now let's attach it. I've already got an infinity link here. So it's going to connect there. And I'm going to put another infinity link on this side. Close that up. And you know what? This is strong enough so I don't have to double it. I was going to say I can do a double link, but I don't need a double link. Open up the other side, attach my clasp, close it up, and I'm just using my fingers to do that. And then it's going to hook into my infinity link, and I want that to be very closed. I like it to be tight enough so that when I put it on, I don't have to worry about it sliding back out of there. I want it to click into place. Yes. Nice and snug. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our piece. What I think I might do is add another chaos bead, which I have a spare one over here. I'm going to add another one to keep with the pattern because I have a bead and a link and a bead. And I think I want a bead, a link, a chaos, a link, and a bead, just like the rest of the pattern. If I'm going to make a beaded link, I want to follow the directive of my pattern. So I'm going to add another chaos link and an infinity link. So chaos link, chaos link, bead. Perfect. And again, you don't have to do it exactly the way I've done it. I'm just showing you how to do the links, and you can put it together the way that pleases you. But that gives me a necklace that follows the same pattern with my clasp as part of the design. And that is the way we are doing it today, ladies and gentlemen. This is our nod to Haiti as being part of Hispanic Heritage Month. Let's fix that real quick. There we go. And there it is. Very simple chain. You can add a pendant if you want to. You can wear it like this. I love it. It's so easy. It's just a matter of several links pulling your chain together. Let's put it on something so we can get a good look. Oof, that is pretty. All right. Let's show you what this looks like. Oh, I did that again. That's so embarrassing. Stop it, Virginia. And it's still there. What the heck? Go ahead. Stop it. There we go. My goodness. There it is, right there. What do you think? I like it. Oh, man, that is so much prettier than I thought it was going to be. And there is the clasp. And the reason I'm saying that is because you can make it longer. I'm going to take that off of there. And if you wanted to, you can hook it someplace else. That is so neat. So there's my clasp. I just hooked it to one of the other infinity links. And I think we have a winner. That is so awesome. That's our piece for the day. Thank you, Haiti. I am so glad I have these beads because I've had them forever. I keep them separate from where's the box? I keep them separate from the ones that I get from different parts of Africa so that I can always identify them when it's time to use them. But I haven't had a chance to use the Haitian ones. And now I have. I am loving this so much. I hope you do too. Anyway, that's our piece for the day. This is our second one because I did this one earlier today just to get two of them done. I had a nice, bright, sunny day. It's dark outside now because it's taken me so long to do these. And I wanted to go ahead and get them done. I have another one in mind that I need to do, but I will do that another day. Anyway, this has been so much fun, obviously, since I've been working on these things for hours. I've just really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you'll let us know what you thought. I hope you'll get in contact with me one way or another. There's an email address, jewelrygen20@gmail.com. That's JEWELRYGIN20@gmail.com that you can contact me at. Or you can contact me through the library Facebook page, which is facebook.com/DeKalb Library. That's facebook.com/DeKalbLibrary. And remember that there are a limited number of kits available for anyone who is in the vicinity of the Clarkston Library, Decatur Library, Toco Hills Library, or North Lake Library branches. There's a limited supply, so I would call ahead and find out whether or not they have some still in stock, and then go get your free kit. I hope to hear from you, and I hope that you'll make something like this. Again, it doesn't have to be paper beads. You can just use the technique on whatever beads that you have. But I wanted to spotlight Haiti and Hispanic Heritage Month, which we should be in right now. We are. It's just it hasn't started yet, but it will have started by the time this video comes out. So Let me hear from you. Let me know what you think, what you thought, whether you liked it or not. I really appreciate the feedback. It helps me get better with what we do. And until next time.